All right, everybody, and we are back. I'm going to be your host with the most for the next few runs, and I'm super excited for our next game. We have Tempest Mask playing Mega Man Xtreme 2. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and kick it off to you. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you, Mirne, and hello, friends and fellow gamers. My name is TempestMask1000. Some of you know me as Steve, and welcome to a game that I happily showcased at least 2 pixels for people ago. Back with a better-than-ever category, if I do say so myself. This is Mega Man Xtreme 2, also known as Rockman X2 Soul Racer, as I'll be playing the Japanese version for you all today. And this is going to be a bit of a special occasion because I'm actually going to be doing a category that I have not showcased at all for an event, and that is going to be Extreme 100%. Now, that is probably one of the most popular categories of the game. It is probably the most active. We'll talk a little bit more about it as we go along because I understand we are a little bit behind on schedule. So the basic gist is you're going to see the full game and it's 100% collection and stuff. And joining me, just like last time, from the last time I showcased this game, is Rose Zorn.
Hello, my name is Rose Zorn. I am a runner of this game, but I've mostly been doing glitch hunting because I have other priorities and also due to technical difficulties. That's pretty much what I do at this game.
It's good to have you back, though. Alright, folks, we're gonna get this started right now. Time will begin once I select Extreme Mode, so here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's dash. Okay, so the first thing to keep in mind is that text is slow. You can't really skip it outright, unfortunately. So the best thing to do is try to scroll through it as best as you can, and the Japanese version is much faster, so that's why we prefer to use that one instead of the worldwide version, which, yeah, not much else to explain there. This is the first level of the game, and I'm going to be starting off as X because his path is generally simpler to go through, and the intro boss goes much faster with him and is much less taxing on the eyes as well. A little bit more to explain once we get there to that point, but for now, you're going to be seeing a lot of familiar-looking level design elements if you're brand new to this game, and the reason for that is because the Extreme titles for Game Boy Color are essentially mini versions of the actual X stuff from games 1 to 3, and not much else to really discuss there at the moment aside from this guy. Skullhead, also known as, I like to affectionately call him Mega Skeletor. Yeah! So, this boss, like I said, simpler to do as X because zeros slashes act as charge shots, which then causes the screen to flash brightly. This is one of those games where Capcom didn't quite understand that, bright screen flashing it can be good for effect, but not necessarily good for our eyes. Limited hardware or no, you might as well try to play it a little safer, but alas, they did not know. So it's with this in mind that I will say a bit of a flashing warning throughout the game, but you don't necessarily have to be all that worried too much. Just something to keep in mind if you are a little bit prone to that sort of thing. And yeah, no worries if you feel you need to just turn away from the run. It's all understood. Health is absolutely important first and foremost. But with that in mind, on top of that, zero slashes also act as charge shots, and because those give Skullhead iframes, we don't want that. And so the boss, it can only scroll left and right so much, and we just try to go all the way to the side so that we can just hit it easily. There is technically something that could have happened that would have made the fight go even faster, but it did not. It's when Skullhead tries to spawn platforms, and it could have really busted away on his health with the rapid fire shot, because in the options menu we actually have that turned on. But right now we're gonna go into Wire Sponge, and one of the big things to note about Extreme Mode is that in Extreme 2 you have X Mission, Zero Mission, which is what I showcased in the first ever Pixels for people, and then there is the Extreme Mode. And as you might recall from Zero Mission, I had the ability to switch into X after all 4 Mavericks from Zero Mission were defeated. In Extreme mode, you have that from the get-go. So character swapping is automatically a thing you want to do, and we're going to immediately try to get as much upgrades for Zero as possible because Dr. Light apparently made 4 armor capsules for him as well. That doesn't mean we can't use X effectively, we most certainly will, and in the 100% category, there's especially going to be something super nice that at first the run didn't make so much use of, but nowadays does, and yeah, it's probably the piece de resistance, if I had to borrow a French adage for it. Apologies if I did botch it, though. Anyway, we got a little bit of an attempted elevator skip here. I'm just trying to go faster than the elevator, really, nothing to it. But, yeah. So, Zorn, why are we at Wire Sponge first?
Wire Sponge... Okay, so pretty much one of the most useful items that Zero can get is Zero Final, which pretty much will destroy any enemy that it hits, but it also does a bunch of damage to bosses. You can easily 4-shot any boss in the game if you have it. Only problem though, the armor capsule that has it is blocked behind some breakable blocks, but you can only break those with Wire Sponge's weapon, and specifically Wire Sponge's weapon if Zero beats him. So that's the reason we're in Wire Sponge. It's also just a pretty hard stage in general. For example, this fight. This fight is horrible. Okay, it's not horrible, but it's pretty rough. So
yeah, just case in point there.
Yeah.
I expected to die, but personally, early death into the fight is by no means a bad thing. It just wastes a little bit of time. What can you do? That's why I picked up the extra life. Don't expect to see a lot of drops. That's only that's like the only real life drop you see in the entire game for some reason.
Yeah. So if you recall from Mega Man X2, if you know anything about the speedrun for that game, you actually can... So Wire Sponge is actually supposed to have a desperation phase where he is invincible and he causes lightning to rain down from the ceiling. However, if you whittle his health down enough, like to the point right before he is about to do that, he just doesn't go into the desperation phase. Specifically, you have to kill him while he's doing a long animation, such as the one that you just saw, where he grappled onto the ceiling. It's possible to do it when he grapples onto the wall, but it is so much more tight, so the ceiling is just preferable. It pretty much works the same way as in X2. Anyway, this is Tunnel Rhino, which I have a hatred for this stage.
It's a bit of a tough one if you don't exactly know what to do, and it is easy to take damage from it, so yeah, I can understand that personal hatred.
Yeah. So that right there is the main reason why. So Tunnel Rhino has these giant boulders around the entire stage, which they deal a lot of damage to you. If you're trying to go fast, it's a huge pain if you're trying to go fast, it's a huge pain. That's actually really nice. You gotta...
Whoa! What? That's never happened before.
Ooh, that's scary.
That's never
okay.
happened before. That's...
What?
Okay.
Oh, this game is... Oh, oops.
No, you're good.
Oh wait, you already got the heart tank.
Yeah, I already did, so at least that much. Funnily enough, that made the trip back a little bit faster, or at least equaled out the time. Ooh. I don't know what to say about that otherwise.
I actually wonder if that is genuinely faster now. That's weird. The first time. I think that's the first time anybody's ever seen that.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're trying to go fast, this stage is a huge pain in the... I'm not gonna say it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. This stage is a huge pain because of, one, you have to damage boost through some boulders. That capsule we grabbed with Zero Final. But also because of this section right here. I hate this section with a passion. There is even more damage boosting here because of the lava that's right here. And it's awful. I actually use X very often in this section because I just cannot stand having to damage boost through the lava and then having to go fight Tunnel Rhino. It's just not a fun stage. But if you
On
can
the
get through
bright
it,
side, yes, if you get through it, then you have your boss-killing combo at that point. Also, luckily, the lava does not instant kill you, so at the very least, there's your saving grace. Okay.
it's pretty much cruise control if you can get past Rhino.
Yeah. Okay, just a little jump slash for extra measure, don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention jump slashing. So jump slashing actually deals 1 hit of more damage. If you play as a ground slash will deal 3 damage, but a jumping slash will deal 4. Not sure why it happens, but it does. Also another thing that's worth noting, if you use Zero Final, you'll want to use it as close to the boss as you can, but also as close to the ceiling as you can, so you can shorten the animation as much as possible. At least that's what I've found.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And it works into the same principle behind trying to get character swapping it done as fast as possible. The closer to the ceiling you are, the faster it'll go. So, and you're going to see me utilize that in this next stage with Bolt Catfish. But this is where we come up to the interesting thing here. We got ourselves the first armor capsule for X, and it's really good. And let me tell you, it's super nice because we got air dashing already going on for Zero, right? And in fact, we should talk quickly about dashing, because this is a Game Boy Color game, dashing works differently from the general X game. You have the double tap directional dash, which is how the SNES games did it as well. But then, because there's no dedicated dash button, the other option is holding down the A button and then pressing the jump button. It's funny because I used to think that was something you could do in the Zero games, but I guess not. I apparently was wrong there. But hey, it's become familiar to me because I've owned an actual cart of Xtreme 2 for just as long as I've had my cart of Zero 2, so fair's fair there. But other than that, there is the mid-air dashing, which this game did come out a few or several months before X6, and so like how X6 has the Falcon armor with an air dash, which you can press the jump button to do easily while in midair, yeah, the same thing applies to here for both Zero and now X, except X also now gets his upward air dash from Mega Man X3 as well, so that's going to be extremely useful for something that is kind of mandates it. Aw, really?
Man, I don't. I have a method for doing that properly, but I don't think I've ever shared it to anybody. But regardless,
was a little too far out. Yeah, I was a little too far out, so that was a bit of a me mistake. No big deal.
That is, but yeah, that was the air dash. Also, this heart tank sucks. The fast strat that you can do is just damage boosting on the wait. Oh my god, wait, are you doing it? Wait, what? Huh? Wait, you're doing it?
Oh.
Yeah, you almost did. You
almost got it. Yeah, I practiced it and I actually managed to get it. It was kind of neat.
I'm very mad at you for that.
I don't usually, in all fairness, I don't usually. But hey, that's all good. It was, I guess I took one extra hit, and that's what ended up killing me there. No big deal. So, yeah, we're done with X in this level. We can now go ahead and switch to Zero once we get to this little bridge. Which, by the way, if you might recognize the level design of Bolt Catfish's stage here, yeah, it's literally just Toxic Seahorse. Zorn theorizes that this game meant to include Seahorse, and I'm willing to see it for that reason too. But, yeah, who knows, really. Right now, we got Catfish, and we're just going to use the boss-killing combo, as per usual. The fun thing about this guy in this game is that he is weak to Neon Tiger's Ray Claw, and whenever you usually hit a boss with a weapon from X, if it's their weakness, it causes a stun reaction out of them. Volt Catfish especially, which you would see in the X mission run for sure, which is why Neon Tiger goes first in any percent. Volt Catfish is probably the worst Maverick to deal with casually if you do not know how to just handle his, heck you, I can do this and you're gonna like it attitude with his moves. It's kind of the same thing in X3 proper as well when you think about it, but yeah. So, with that stage out of the way, we're going back to the rest of the Zero Mavericks, and we're going to Blast Hornet because that stage is going to introduce us to the Body Capsule, which will not only have Zero's defenses... Oh, wait, no, it just adds Zero's defenses. Never mind. Yes. The thing is that while Zero does take maybe a few... Oh, well, you know what? To be fair, I needed my lives back anyway. So it's no big deal.
Yeah, probably better.
Right.
Blast
as I was
Hornet.
about to say. No, yeah, Zero's upgrades are mostly borrowed abilities from the, first armor from X. They're kind of sort of left over. Zero, final notwithstanding. But yeah, you were about to say, Zorn?
I did find a skip in this stage, but it is very unoptimal, and it makes one of the later stages a huge pain. There's an... So, Overdrive Ostrich, which you may have seen on the, level select screen, he, if you grab his weapon before going to this stage, you actually can skip that first, Skycopter section if you use the dash ability, because it resets your dashing, state, I guess. But the main problem with it is that you need to beat Overdrive Ostrich first, which is a huge pain if you do not get this upgrade that Tempest is about to get.
Just like, Zero, what are you doing? It stands to note, too, that one of the hindsight flaws with this game is that Capcom kind of sort of programmed it where you can only get a weapon if you are the character that beat the boss. So there are a couple of instances where I will intentionally want to beat the boss as X. In one specific case, I have to, otherwise I will be locked out of 100%. But yeah, let's get a nice, quick hello and goodbye to what Zorn and I like to call Blinker Wall. One of the far and few instances of mini-bosses in this game, the only original one, actually, within the game, which is
the
also
only original
RNG.
stage in the game, actually.
What's that?
This is the only original stage in the game. Well,
True, yeah.
one of.
Yeah, compared
I
to
love
Blast
it.
Hornet's airbase from X3, this is a huge change of locale, but one that, yeah, you were about to say you personally love this stage. I do too.
K Poison, shout out to him, by the way, had a boiling hatred for this stage when he was actively running it because of Blinker Wall. But I still think the stage is really neat because it is the most interesting looking one.
Oh, absolutely. Blinker Wall, though, yeah, that can go die in a fire. It's got a lot of RNG, especially if you're playing Zero Mission, because one of the things that differs between it and there, you might recall from my run with that category that there's only one blinking light at a time. In Extreme mode, they make that a little less of a problem by having it as 2 at a time, but sometimes if you've already destroyed one of the lights, sometimes only one can get it, and you know what? It's more manageable in Extreme mode, but yeah, it's still pretty infamous if you're trying to beat this game fast, and it gets to the point where it can cause the most minute time loss, and yet you're still far away from your PB. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
we've moved
this is
into Ostrich's stage,
which I mentioned earlier.
and this is where we get to utilize a bunch of damage boosts.
Yeah, and this is the reason why you don't want to get.
What?
You clipped onto the. Yeah. This is the reason why. This stage is the reason why you don't want to. This stage is the reason why you don't want to do the skip that I performed at Blast Hornet stage, or that I found in Blast Hornet stage, because it. Wait for this one, please.
Yeah, I figured
Alright,
that
cool.
much.
Sorry for the backseating, but anyway.
You're good.
Come on. Okay. I had a lot of trouble with that when I was first starting out.
Those
Okay,
sandstorms, tornado generators, as I like to call them, they're instant kill, so the damage boosts allow the iframes to pass through them, but you gotta be pretty quick about it. And with this final capsule for Zero, we have officially completed his armor. Now, you will not see an appearance change, which is sad because X actually does have one when he gets all of his armor pieces, and it's obviously modeled after his second armor from X2, which shout out to Stall for that run earlier in day 1 yesterday, but
X4 and 5 came out and had the black armor. Why didn't this game get it?
I was just about to say, yeah, it's kind of strange. They could have easily have done that if you ask me. But then again, I guess they personally felt like it didn't make sense because this game canonically takes place in between X3 and 4. So I guess for the same enough reason as to why there's no ultimate armor, yeah, they just decided not to do it here either. But we got Ostrich coming up. And this boss can choose to leave the screen and enter the background and do that little background attack. In Zero Mission, you can manipulate him not to do it just as long as you're keeping him within the boundaries of the stage, but other than that, in Extreme mode, he just chooses to do it and you can't really stop him at all. By the way, if you were curious about the weird camera thing that happened in Tunnel Rhino's stage, I get the feeling like what ended up going down was I caused the camera to sort of scroll as I was getting a health pickup while in the mech suit, and that must have somehow caused the camera boundary to go a little bit off the wall there, which is why after collecting the life up, it suddenly turned the bottom of the screen, which should have been a safe landing, into a death pit. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, here's the real reason why we get
Say
Zero's
Tempest.
armor first.
Say Tempest,
Oh, yes.
actually, really. So, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. It seems like it looks like you're in Flame Mammoth stage right now, but Octopus's music is playing. I don't know what's going on there.
I'll tell you what's going on. It's a weird programming bug that Capcom had with the Japanese version of this game, whereas the worldwide version completely fixed this, and so you'll hear the stage themes in their intended order. Aside from that, yeah, this is the faster version, so that's kind of inevitable here. But yes, so by allowing Zero to break blocks with his wall kicks and his head, it allows for no backtracking whatsoever, and this is why we do the route as it is.
Yeah. Yeah. If you could route it a different way, but it may result in you having to do revisits, which we want to avoid.
Exactly. Now, we are here in Flame Mammoth stage. We've collected the last sub-tank, which, yeah, that usually works as it does. But one thing that, as nice as I want to potentially have some backup health to rely on in case I need it, as much as that's a cool thing and all, I wouldn't necessarily count on it. One, it's easy to take damage in this game. I mean, it's an X game. Let's be honest with ourselves. We've all been there before. But more importantly, we gotta talk about the save system in this, because with this being a Game Boy Color game, there's a backup battery in the cartridge, which actively records your progress. You can have up to 3 files, but there's also an autosave mechanism, which anytime I hit a checkpoint that involves those, as Focus Sight once called them, metal Oreos, the autosave saves up. You can go to the continue screen. It'll ask if you want to do it. Just keep in mind, you only get 1 autosave per special designated checkpoint. Wait. No! Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay, hang on a second. I gotta do a thing here. Okay, so I totally screwed up, but, okay, thankfully, this is where the autosave actually comes in. I almost scared myself to death there. Okay, so remember how I mentioned that there is one particular weapon that we have to get as X in order to 100% this game? Flame Mammoth was that Maverick, and although Zero gets the same attack, both of them get Fire Wave, it's X's version that's required in order to get the upgrade from Neon Tiger's stage, so that is going to set me back just a little bit, and I will admit that was embarrassing.
Oh, is that why you, is that why you had to reset? I do a ground splash here, by the way. It helps.
Okay, yeah.
Again, sorry for
Oh.
backseating. I just...
No,
yeah.
no. It's Thorn, let me assure you, it's not backseating when it's an actually important thing. I will never fault a commentator for helping me out at all. That is probably one of the silliest things I have ever done in an Xtreme 2 run. And you gotta understand, I have been speedrunning this game for 3 years at least, if not 4 by now. Whew. Alright, well, you know what? We're gonna go into Neon Tiger stage, and shoutouts to any Guns N' Roses fans, because this song clearly takes after their tune My Michelle. I believe they're still actually playing for audiences. I know I saw a video of their Madison Square Garden show, which, yeah, it's crazy that Axl Rose and Slash are very much still a part of this group, but yeah, good stuff.
Somebody at Capcom must have been a huge Guns N' Roses fan, because there's Guns N' Roses references in X5.
Actually, there's a good reason for that. Allison Court, who was the translator of that game, her husband at the time was a big fan of Guns N' Roses, and so she kind of sort of did that because of such. And by the way, wouldn't you know it, she was the original voice of Claire Redfield.
Oh, that's interesting, actually.
But yes,
So
with this, we will now get the head part for X, which, funnily enough, is the same purpose as what Zero's does, and that's for breaking blocks. We don't need that anymore, but hey, it's still needed for the 100%, and yeah, the reason why I know for a fact, I used to say that Zero's Fire Wave should be able to break that wood piece. No, I tested it today during practice. It did not work, so all this time, y'all were right. Those who told me that it doesn't work like that, y'all were right. Oops.
This game is not nice to you most of the time.
I was trying to do a nice little fast thing to skip the enemies that spawn from above. By the way, Neon Tiger stage takes a little bit of Sting Chameleon with the stage design, which is pretty neat.
Probably, Think Chameleon likely could have also been in this game.
Yeah,
but
it's one of the X1 Mavericks that never made the cut in either of those games.
Yeah.
Now this one I can beat as Zero, but I want to beat it as X because the strat... Oh, no, I'm almost dead, I just realized. Okay, hang on. Oh, okay.
Ooh. I got a
just
little
say
worried
that-
there.
Yeah, I got worried too. 1 point of health, that's not comfy at all. But yes, as I was about to say, yeah, it's just for a easier way to deal with our final Maverick of this run, and yeah, we're good now, so all's good. And we're gonna probably see this one more time. There's a chance we might not, but let's talk about fast text, because weapon screen text, that goes at a consistent, non-fast scrolling text speed. But sometimes it does. We don't know how. We would love to figure it out. I personally would love to see if there's a way to make sure it's stored input. Like if there's like a very easy way to indeed test out the stored input stuff. Because even the previous tasks of this category couldn't quite figure it out. And I know Motherias was one of the people that worked on it, but I cannot off the top of my head remember the other, so I apologize for that. But
it would be
yes.
It would be so nice if we could just if like somebody had access to the source code of this game.
And it's not really intended either, clearly, but yes. Alright, so now that I'm doing something I wouldn't normally be used to doing, and this is the 100% way of doing things, but yeah, we gotta fight Utuboros, the robotic sea dragon maverick, twice. There's one down here, and you can see the spike floors, but luckily I know exactly how to deal with this fight, and I know exactly where to stand on it to do the rapid shot that'll basically end this thing. And now, the last armor capsule of the game. Fun fact, if you do the transitional point where the camera unlocks and you dash fast enough to the capsule, Dr. Light's mugshot looks is like offset by some pixels to the left, so it's not fully in its proper position. It's kind of funny.
Calling it a mugshot is a really funny concept.
But yes, at
I'm
this
just
point,
putting
X
one up
has got his full-on armor. Zero has also got his full-on thing as well. And we have collected all of the life-ups and sub-tanks, so at this point, we've got 99% of the collectibles, but there is one more thing to get, and that's going to be within the third-to-last stage. So right now, we're going to fight this one last Utuboros, and yes, second verse, same as the first, except this one, yeah, I don't quite know the setup to... admittedly, so yeah, we're just gonna go down a little bit and then we're gonna see him pop out again. But with X getting the body armor, it's not just a defense reduction like Zero did, but now he also gets his special technique. It's the Giga Crush from X2, which you deal damage to yourself to fill up the energy of this weapon, and then it's a screen clearing move, which is nifty, but it's also slow because it causes an animation to happen, and yeah, Zero Final is just much more reliable.
Hey, Tempest, I'm in the mood for some calamari.
Indeed. How do we do it?
I guess like this. So what Tempest just did is what me and him like to refer to as making calamari. Pretty much, X's Ray Claw causes Launch Octopus to go into a animation where his tentacles get chopped off of his body, which stuns him for a solid like 10 seconds, and will pretty much allow you to just wail on him the whole time, and there's not really much you can do about it. You pretty much have a free fight.
Admittedly, an X mission... Well, okay, yeah, I didn't think so. That's a tricky one to get, admittedly. But, in X mission, he will eventually get out of that, because his weakness, which is Tri-Thunder from Volt Catfish, even as X, doesn't prompt a stun reaction out of him. Apparently, they just gave that to Rayclaw for the one time, which, hey, it's a nice reference, though, to what happens when you hit Launch Octopus with enough boomerang cutters from Boomer Kawanger, so it's clearly meant to be modeled off of that, and yet it comes at the cost of him not having a stun, which would be nice, because admittedly he gets annoying once he's out of that stun animation of losing his tentacles, and yeah, he can be this boss is admittedly the jerkiest Maverick around, unfortunately. But now that we are in the Sigma stages, oh wait, sorry, I mean Burkana and Gareth stages, we now... Well, we already have the ability to swap between characters, but if you are playing X mission or Zero mission, it's at this point you normally would. By the way, shout out to the folks at Pixels for People, Pixel Perfect Events, who just rated us. Thank you very much. I actually was helping them out a little bit a while ago earlier today, so nice to see you all come on in. It's yeah, hope you enjoy yourselves here as we're raising money for Child's Play. And speaking of, Mirne, would you like to, I think we've been talking for a while here, care to share anything about the event or any announcements or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to remind everybody what we are here raising money for. We are raising money for Child's Play. Through the therapeutic gaming and the power of play, Child's Play partners with over 190 pediatric hospitals around the globe to enrich the lives of children. Exclamation point D to get that donation link. We have already raised $1,625 out of that $2,000 goal, but you know what they say about goals. They are meant to be smashed. So get those donations in. Thank you to everybody hanging out and all the donations. It is greatly appreciated.
Thank you very much for that. By the way, big shout out to Mirne. I know this is not the first time that she's hosted for me, but always a pleasant person to have around for this role. Definitely appreciate it. But with that said, we are now in the second of the Burkana and Gareth stages, and this is where things get interesting, because if you play this game casually, yeah, heck, there's a bit of an infamous boss here, and yeah.
I used to hate him. He is pretty easy once you fight him like 400 times. After the 396th time, though. He's pretty easy.
Pretty much, yeah. So, once we get past this returning portion of, I'm sorry, Zorn, Rising Lava, yes, we are going to get to the boss. And, yeah, I guess they felt like using this obstacle one last time or something. Heck if I know. It's here, it's there, whether we like it or not.
It is a really nice, like, addition. But regardless, I don't...
Yeah, here it is. Alright, so... Alright, I don't know, I really got nothing to say about this thing. I mean, it's got two interesting-looking faces. Looks rather familiar. I can't say I've seen that facial structure anywhere, though.
I sure wonder.
Huh, it wasn't taking damage.
Or that logo.
That was weird.
Or that logo.
That's true. I mean, it's the general Maverick logo. It is what it is.
Right.
But, yeah, not really much to say aside from that. So, at this rate, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of shopping. And this is where we really put in our well-earned DNA souls into a really interesting set of parts that I'm gonna be swapping here and there from. So, what I just purchased was Buster +1, +2, and then Saber +2, which adds to our Saber +1 that I got after the intro stage. And then we got this part called Hypercharge, which makes X's charge much faster. Now, you're probably wondering, for a category where I've been mostly running on rapid fire, why would I suddenly need that? 100% is... Well, yeah, it's for the 100%, the final piece of what we need to 100% this 100%. The Shotokan capsule. I hope you all are ready for a street fight because, like with Xtreme 1, the special reward for getting all of the life ups, capsule upgrades, and other collectible things is the ability to perform the Hadouken and Shoryuken. You do not have to be at full health for this one. All you need to do is charge your shot, and then hold up or down, and then just like that, you can do either of the two moves, and it's super cool. The weird thing about how they brought it in is that it only really deals half the amount of damage to a Maverick's health bar, and oh, that was I tried to go too fast there. Whoops. Right.
Yeah.
It only does
I think
half
I've
the
actually,
health
I think
of a Mavericks health bar mostly. There are some bosses that do. Sorry, I'll let you continue a second. There are some bosses that do take damage from it still, but otherwise, for the longest while, we didn't think it was all that effective until we realized, you know what, we should use this for the Mavericks because of course you're gonna refight them. What was that? That's also never happened before.
Ouch.
Oh well, okay. I'll try to take it easy from here on out. Whoops. You were gonna say though, Zorn?
I think I've actually choked a sub 19 in X mission any % because of that screen.
Yeah, I would imagine. It's weird because this room, as you might have noticed, it mandates the use of having an upwards air dash. This is probably one of the only times that an X game has ever really required you to get an armor piece of some kind to beat the game as X, but for whatever oversight reason, yes, this is very much a thing. There's no other known way to get past that obstacle without it, so sad to say, but hey, it is what it is, because at least the leg part still gives X some extra mobility, so yeah. Anyway, that gray block was a false electric instant kill block, so we just had to pass through that, and there's the Shotokan capsule, provided that you have all of the other collected stuff. That does mean, though, that in order to 100% Extreme mode, you have to do it with X's pathway here in the third stage, because when that big dialogue exchange happened, if you're playing on Extreme mode, whichever character you are at that point will determine whether you chose to fight Berkana or Gareth. Speaking of Berkana, take it away, Zorn.
Berkana is gonna fight us using the alphabet, but she's probably not gonna do too well. So Berkana's fight can give new runners a bit of a headache. Pretty much, she will throw A and B spheres at you. The A spheres disable your A button, and as you'll see here, the B spheres disable your B button. And she will alter the way that the stage looks to reflect this.
She was still doing the attack for 2 more cycles after the floor changed back. That doesn't usually happen, but that was pretty close. Thankfully, body checking her is much safer than bumping into the projectiles, so thank goodness for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and proceed on, because unfortunately, well, or rather, fortunately, we do not have to fight Gareth. So both of them are taken care of at this rate, and oh gosh, it was Sigma this whole time.
No!
Rats. We were robbed of an actually original plot for once. It's a shame, too, because Berkana is actually one of the far and few female villains of the Mega Man X franchise. Sure, a lot of people love to point out to Ferrum, and yes, as someone who actually does appreciate Command Mission for what it is, I fully understand that. But as a main villainess, Ferrum was actually one of the lackeys to Epsilon, so I feel like as a technically main villain, that's pretty much what Berkana was. No shame to Ferrum, though, not at all. I just wanted to make that clear, because I know some folks would probably not like it if I did not mention Ferrum, and fair's fair there. I actually think Command Mission is something that you all should experience for yourself, and hopefully one of these days Capcom will port it for us. I want it anyway. I most certainly do.
Hey Tempest, what about, Hey Tempest, why are you not using the Shotokan moves?
Because I'm about to. Alright, here we go. So, I'm gonna turn on auto charge at this point. And here we go. So, oh right, maybe I should do this really quick. Calamari round 2, who's up for second?
Me.
Ba-boom.
Me.
There
Nice.
you have it. This is basically how the refights are gonna go, so Mirne, I think this is a perfect time to pass it on back to you.
All right, I want to say thank you to Vertigo95 for that $42 donation, saying $2 each for each death that occurred in my Splatoon 3 run. Thank you so much, Vertigo, for that awesome donation. Remember, !D to get that donation link.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your double duty Splatoon run, by the way, Vertigo. That was pretty rad. I gotta say, I got major respect for Splatoon, folks. Like, I don't speedrun it currently, but they're just super fun games to play. And even if I'm more of a person that usually has the most time trying to get back to them during Splatfests, still, they're just so charming that it has to be said, you know? Whew. So Wire Sponge and Neon Tiger, I always find them interesting about this game because in X Mission and Zero Mission, they are the Mavericks that do not have actual weaknesses if you are specifically playing from scratch on those modes. And the reason is the Mavericks have a full-on 8 weakness of, like, weapon chains and stuff sorts. Words are hard, but you know what I mean. And it's weird enough because, you know, Mega Man 7 had it where at least Slash Man had the soft weakness to Freeze Man's weapon. Here, not so much, but it is what it is, because, you know, I gotta say, for as long as I've been running the game, oh, that missed. That's an epic fail. Having the chance to finally use Hadouken and Shoryuken, though, in a run, feels kind of cathartic. Alright, just one more capsule to go, and then it'll be onward to the final showdown. I gotta mention really quick the shop system, though, because DNA Souls, we were collecting those as both post-boss rewards, as well as health or weapon refills that had the shape of a blue diamond-like thing going on, and if you're collecting those, they give you certain points and whatnot. I think at this rate I will spare you the values, but put simply, the parts shop requires you to get parts by having a certain amount of unspent DNA souls. So that's the reason why I was mainly preserving them after getting the energy saver part, which has allowed us to use 2 Zero finals at once, and then the Saber +1, which allowed Zero's damage to be really gnarly for a lot of the run.
All right, and here is Sigma cosplaying as Wolverine. So this fight can be done in 4 hits because Sigma is weak to Zero's air dash slash, and that's the end. Never mind, we still have this. This is a very interesting final boss because it is the most unique final boss.
Flashing warning, by the way.
Oh yeah, that too. Please look away from the stream for now.
This is going to be interesting because I'm so not used to doing this with the current assortment of charge shot.
Hey Tempest, it helps to turn rapid fire off for this boss, by the way.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. My bad. Thank you.
You're all right.
So yeah, oh wow, it already switched into that phase. I was not expecting that. I didn't think it could do that so early. So at first it was something you could damage with both characters. Now I gotta use Zero, as you can tell. Luckily the hitbox as Zero with the Zero focused coloring is much easier than trying to hit it otherwise, like the other way around. Oh, by the way, time will be on the final hit.
Which is coming up in just a little bit. Not now, but it will be in a little bit.
Right. Looks like he's giving me a little bit of interference, though. Why did it have to be this move?
This, side note, I am the sole Buster-only runner of this game. This fight is horrible for Buster-only.
Let's use Crash. Let's see what happens, just for funsies. At this point, we got not much to lose. Yeah, no, it did not work, though. Yeah, so this boss is strictly, for X anyway, it's strictly weak to charge shots, as you can tell. Doesn't want to get hit for some reason, though. Oh, boy. Well, I should be able to beat this under the estimate, hopefully. It's, yeah, unfortunate. Sorry to say about, like, some of the bizarre deaths that have happened throughout this run, but one more hit should do it, and time!
All right, nice. Looks like that was a 45-15 from what I could see from the stream.
Not bad at all, not bad at all. Whew, okay, well... There you go, folks. That's Mega Man Xtreme 2's true final boss with 100% collectibles. I gotta say, it was really nice to finally get to show this category off at an event, and I thank you all for helping me meet the incentive to make that possible today. Really appreciate it, truly. This is actually the first run that I got to use these splits for, but let me assure you all that I have quite a bit of practice in running Xtreme in general. It just so happens that things were a little bit jank due to some of the mistakes that happened. We had a lot of fun, though. I certainly did, because we discovered a new glitch. That's something that Zorn's been doing a lot of, but it's also kind of funny whenever it happens, whenever I do it too, I guess. So, you know, I can say I found something interesting.
And this seems like a glitch that could actually save time, because none of the glitches I've found yet have actually had a use. So, good on you for that, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah, GG.
Alright, so, Zorn, I know that I've got another run coming up right after this, but where can everyone find you if they want to follow you?
Twitch.tv/RoseZorn, and my YouTube channel, which is just RoseZorn. What about you?
If you got to dip out right now and you can't catch me coming up next, you can follow me on Twitch at TempestMask1000, as well as my YouTube of the same name, and you can check out my Twitter. No, it's not an X account. I will not call it such. At It's Tempest Steve, and that's where I post any plans to stream. So yeah. Big shout out to the Mega Man X community. Feel free to join our Discord server if you would like to learn this game for yourself. We do not have a lot of active runners, but big shout out to everyone that has run this game in the past. You all have set the stage for me and Zorn, and we couldn't be any more grateful. And also special shout out to my pal Focus Site, who especially got me wanting to run this game. All right. With that said, I'll see you all soon for Curse Crackers for whom the bell toils. But for now, don't touch that dial.
We'll be right back.